The car market is, well, stuck. That's what the headlines are saying, at least. And it's kind of true. You see, according to Automotive News, last month, in the month of August, the car market saw a selling rate of 15.1 million cars, which is not only disappointingly light for the month of August, but it's also the second lowest selling rate month so far this year in 2024, followed only by January, which saw 14.9 million cars sold that month. And the thing is, the month of January is a historically slow month for buying cars. It's after the holidays, people are saving money. If they were going to buy a car, they probably would have done so during the holiday season. The fact that January was slow wasn't abnormal at all, but the fact that August was so slow was odd. And something that I found particularly interesting about this data point is something that I actually didn't even realize until I was researching for this video, and that is the fact that the Labor Day holiday weekend typically falls only in September. And the fact that this year in 2024, Labor Day fell in both August and September, with the Saturday of Labor Day weekend falling on the last sales day of the month, well, that day alone really should have given August a pretty big sales bump, but it just didn't play out that way. And well, that's surprising. This year, because of the holiday weekend, August had 28 selling days, the most of any month this year. And as I mentioned a moment ago, despite the fact that August had an abnormally long sales month, they still had the second lowest sales month of the year so far. And this really points to the fact that as we sit here today, people are waiting to make big purchases like buying a car. And some automotive experts believe that this is putting the car market in a bit of a standoff. In fact, according to a VP at JD Power, he was quoted in saying, "The market is stuck. It's a standoff right now between consumers, dealers, automakers, and lenders to see which one is going to blink." And this is something that I've been saying for quite a long time here on my channel. Though I will admit, I really didn't think that I would still be saying this going into the fall of 2024. But the car market is currently in a weird spot, and it truly does feel like a bit of a standoff, where the different components of the car market are simply waiting to see who's going to give in first. And well, there are a lot of reasons as to why the car market is currently playing out this way. The first is interest rate. Now, I actually made a video talking about this about a week ago, saying that if you're looking to buy a car in 2024, you should not buy that car right now because interest rates are going to be going down very, very soon. And this is absolutely one of the reasons as to why the car market feels stuck. As we see here today, interest rates are at the highest level that they've been in 15 years. And we've been sitting at this level for nearly 2 years now. And according to NerdWallet, interest rates are ranging anywhere from 5.25% for the best borrowers on a new car, all the way up to 21.55% for poor credit borrowers buying a used car. As I've talked about in recent videos, it is expected that the Fed is going to cut rates next week, in fact. And so there are many buyers that are actively telling themselves, why would I buy a car today if I can buy a car in a couple of weeks and get a better interest rate on that purchase and thus save myself some money? Which, as you can see here, can drastically affect how much you're going to pay for the car that you buy. And while certainly interest rates going down in the coming weeks isn't going to be a light switch for the car market, it isn't going to automatically turn the car market from unaffordable to affordable, but this is just one of the many components that are affecting the car market as a whole. And as this begins to trend in the right direction, I strongly believe that we will see an uptick in vehicle demand. Even if in some regard, especially at the beginning of these interest rate cuts, it's a bit of a placebo effect, people thinking, hey, interest rates went down and thus I'm saving a ton of money, even if that technically won't be the case for many borrowers. The fact that interest rates will be lower, people feel like they're getting a big deal, I think it will shift the car market dramatically. But while interest rates are a big deal for the car market, they certainly aren't the only component here either. Vehicle affordability and recession fears is also a major factor as well. Now, don't get me wrong, vehicle affordability is improving. The average dealership discount on a new car is currently at 6.2%, which is up by 2.3% from this time last year, but is still well below what we saw pre-pandemic. And the percentage of vehicles that are selling at or above MSRP have also gone down to levels much lower than this time last year, or the year before that, but they are still significantly higher than what we saw pre-pandemic. And with the average new monthly car payment sitting at $767 per month, and the average monthly used car payment sitting at $566 per month, the bottom line is vehicle affordability is a major issue, and it's preventing consumers from going in and making the plunge into that new car purchase. And you see this become glaringly obvious whenever you look at the average age of the average car on the road today. In fact, as we see here today, the average age of the average car is the oldest that we've ever had, at 12.5 years old. And this is because of the fact that people don't want to buy a new car because it's so expensive, so they'd rather just keep their current car running for longer. We add this vehicle affordability issue paired with the undertones of an election coming up very soon, as well as recession fears, and it puts consumers consumers in a position to where they feel like they can't confidently make a vehicle purchase, and that they aren't really in a place to make a purchase as big as buying a car. And while many dealerships will make the argument that the car market will never return to pre-pandemic levels, so consumers need to stop holding out hope that it will, and unfortunately, I think that to a degree this is an accurate argument to be made, the reality is whether or not consumers think the car market will return to 2019 levels is neither here nor there, because that doesn't change the fact that affordability is out of hand. And there are absolutely strides that dealerships and automakers can make in order to improve that affordability. But don't get me wrong, the issue at hand here certainly isn't a one-way street. Dealerships and automakers also have to reframe the way that they're thinking and looking at the car market as well. This is something that I've talked about a lot in my past videos. The dance that consumers and dealerships are currently having is sort of like a game of chicken. Who is going to cave first? Dealerships with below MSRP pricing and discounts, or consumers with just caving into these high vehicle price tags? And the reality is, while my point of view might be a bit biased because I'm not exactly a fan of a dealership, the reality is that dealerships have to accept the fact that the car market is no longer at 2021 and 2022 levels. And as long as dealerships have an inability to accept that fact, the car market is going to be crippled as a result. In the month of August, 13% of new vehicles were projected to sell above sticker price, which was down from 31% in August of 2023. And while this is a drastic improvement and it does show how much progress the car market has made, it is still too damn high. In this market with this current demand, 13% of cars should not be selling for at or above MSRP. And I believe that this stat really points to the greater problem the car market is currently experiencing. That dealerships want pre-pandemic level pricing without pre-pandemic level interest rates, that dealerships and automakers are so desperately trying to hold on to their pandemic level pricing, without regard to the fact that the environment of buying a car is drastically different than what we saw during the pandemic. The affordability is different, interest rates are different, buying power is different, economic circumstances are different. Times have changed, and dealerships really need to accept that. And how do they accept that? Well, bring dealership discounts and incentives back to historical average prices. They need to stop trying to get every inch they can with buyers by forcing them into BS packages. And they need to start becoming more transparent with their pricing. Whatever dealerships do, the truth is, if they don't do something, the car market will absolutely remain stuck. Because my guess is consumers aren't going to be rushing to buy cars, at least until interest rates go down and until vehicle affordability improves. But like always, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, I would love to hear it, so make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.